morning, good afternoon, good evening to each one of you. Today I will be discussing to you the laboratory glasswares that we are going to use in forensic chemistry. So this topic class is consist of 3 experiments. So it means yung mag-read in advance kayo sa module ninyo, itong i-discuss ko ngayon ay experiments 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Para makapag-review kayo in advance, makapagbasa kayo in advance. And anyway, we are going to describe the use and function of the following glasswares and instruments para ma-familiarize na kayo. Okay po? And then, pagdating ng ating laboratory practice and experiment performance, at least you are aware already. Nakuha? Okay. You are going to, or I'll be demonstrating to you a phlebotomy and capillary soon. Okay? So, the first glassware and cover slip are the images that I am going to discuss. Simple lang yan. Sa glass slide, dyan mo ilalagay yung blood. Yung lancet, syempre, yung pantusok para maka-acquire ka ng blood. Kung syringe ang pantusok para makakuha ng dugo, phlebotomy or venipuncture ang tawag dyan. Pag lancet, skin puncture or capillary. Okay po? Next, sa glass slide, meron tayong tinatawag din na Takayama test at saka Tekman test. Okay? Tinitignan natin kung totoo bang blood yung nandoon or yung blood ba talaga yung ating i-examine or blood stain. Okay? May kaibahan kasi ang blood at saka blood stain. Okay? So, ang Takayama at Tekman, it requires heating the blood, which will be discussed on our lecture, and we're going to perform in the next schedule. So, applicator stick, pwedeng pang mix. Okay, ginagamit po yan to mix a sample beaker used to contain any volume of solution or liquid. Ito ang tawag sa kanya open system. Okay? Ito naman ang tawag sa kanya closed system. Please be familiarized with the parts. Anyway, regardless, open or closed system man yan, kailangan makakuha ka pa rin ng dugo. Okay? At yan pa rin ang ginagamit natin para makakuha ng dugo. Okay po? Next, viewing box. Ang nilalagay natin dito yung mga slide. Okay? May ilaw po dyan sa ilalim, syempre kulay white, para ma-prove natin. Okay, usually ginagawa ito after ng microscopic testing. Pinapatong natin yung mga slide, okay, or after na malagyan ng mga reagent yung tinitest natin, pinapatong natin dyan sa viewing box na may ilaw para mas makita natin talaga yung kanyang physical appearance. Anyway, I am going to demonstrate that soon. And we have also separatory funnel. If you recall your AGChem, okay, separatory funnel, syempre para sa extraction po yan, di ba? It is the most common separation technique that is used in the laboratory. Yan. Kasi pwedeng mangyari itong layers formation ng iba't ibang mixture, no, ng iba't ibang solution. So please be familiarized of the layers and also the parts of the separatory funnel. Basta tandaan mo lang, separatory funnel is used for extraction. And pwede rin siyang maggamit to contain, okay, or yan, to have a minute volume of solution na i-filter mo, no? Yan. Kapag ka may gusto kang i-filter, then yan, pwede mong i-open yung stopcock. Yan. Of course, yung Bunsen burner, familiar tayo, it is to heat any chemical substances. Yan. Mapa, solid man yan or liquid. Okay? To heat. Okay na yun. Okay, this one is ultraviolet lamp. So, ang ultraviolet kasi class, yung wavelength niyan, sobrang lakas. Okay? Please take note that ultraviolet ay wavelength. At pag sinabi nating wavelength, they are photon in nature. At pag sinabi nating photons, these are the functional unit of light. At pag sinabi mong functional unit of light, mas maliliit pa sa atom ang size ng mga to. So parang pag sinabi mong ultraviolet light at yung wavelength niya sobrang dikit-dikit, ang dami-daming mga photons or yung tinatawag natin na quantum-sized particles, okay, na tumama doon sa object or doon sa mark. Okay? Or fingerprint. That's why the ultraviolet lamp has the capability, okay, to show to us, okay, the fingerprint. Kagaya ng nakikita nyo ngayon, the fingerprint of a human, okay, of a suspect in a crime, kasi nga yung mga photons na yan na-absorb ng object. Nakuha nyo? And kapag na-absorb yung photon na yan, they emit a light known as violet spectrum. Kaya siya tinawag na ultraviolet. Di ba ang ilaw kapag try mong itutok ng matagal dun sa pader, okay, iinit din kaya yung pader na tinututukan niya. Kasi according to chemistry and physics, ang mga light kasi na wavelength energy, okay, nagba-bounce back po yan. Okay? So I do hope marirealize na ninyo kung bakit mahalaga yung ultraviolet lamp. At better type ito ng ilaw na ginagamit kasi siya talaga yung mas nakikita mga dark, okay, background. Okay, ultraviolet. Next, clinical thermometer. Familiar tayo lahat dito sa ating clinical thermometer. Siyempre, pag nilalagnat tayo, yan yung ginagamit natin. Okay? So, please memorize the parts of a thermometer. Tandaan natin, ang thermometer ay meron po yang mercury. Okay? The glass bulb of clinical thermometer contains mercury. It is used for measuring the body temperature. Centrifuge and ultracentrifuge, regardless, they are centrifuge. Okay po? Ano ang kaibahan ni centrifuge sa ultracentrifuge? Si ultra, kaya nga siya ultra, ibig sabihin mas mabilis siya. Si centrifuge, okay, meron lang din namang limitation ang speed niya. Pero mapa-centrifuge or ultracentrifuge, ano ang function niyan? Pinapaikot neto yung mismong solution or mixture para mag-separate. Etong mnemonic. Pag pinaikot ka, talagang makikipaghiwalay ka. Ganon. Kasi, ang tawag sa force na nire-release ng centrifuge ay centrifugal force. Nakuha po? At yung centrifugal force na yan would permit the separation or the movement of solutes from the solution. Take note, ang solutes ay mga solid. Ang solvents, Kaya ito yung liquid or yung water portion ng isang mixture. Okay? Halimbawa, kung na-try na ninyong nagpa-chemistry, di ba ang kinuhanan sa inyo, whole red blood. Pero nilalagay ng mga medtech doon sa centrifuge para paikutin yung blood mo. And then after nun, meron ng dalawang layer ang blood. May yellow sa baba, yung red nasa taas. Okay? Kasi centrifugal force. And this is the way para malaman din namin yung iba't ibang concentration ng trace elements, ng mga electrolytes, okay, at ibang klase ng mga um, yun, yung layers or composition ng blood. Malalaman namin through the centrifugation. Okay? At yun talaga yung rason kung bakit nalalaman natin yung cholesterol concentration, lipids, okay? Tapos glucose concentration, tapos yung plasma tsaka serum kung tawagin. Okay? Yan po, centrifuge. So, those are the other glasswares and instruments of experiment 1. I do hope may mga hindi ako na-discuss siguro na mga glasswares. Okay? But at least, you have searched for it, then please review it. Nakuha po. Next, experiment 2. Drunkometer, intoximeter, alcometer. It is used for the determination of alcohol and other volatile substances in the body fluids. Would it be possible to determine the alcohol concentration? Yes, kaya nga siya alcometer eh. In the US or sa ibang bansa, no, merong ganito yung mga pulis. So bawat driver talaga individually madedetect nila kung ito ba ay nakainom or kung talagang lasing ba siyang nagmamaneho. Kasi ang gagawin, eto, nakikita niyo yung object dyan, yung drunkometer dyan. Yan, ilalagay yan sa bunganga ng driver. Tapos, yun, i-breathe in niya ng full, and then, as you can see, may digital display doon. Ano yung digital display na yan? Numbers yan. And as you can see, the BAC, ang meaning ng BAC is blood alcohol concentration. Now, merong standard yung object na to. Okay? May standard reference value yung drunkometer para malaman na lasing ka na or nakainom ka. So, kung saan mag-stop or mag-fall yung digital display, okay, pag umabot yan sa standard, then congratulations, nakainom ka. Pero pag hindi, edi good, padadaanin ka. Ganun lang ang paggamit, no, sa equipment na ito. Okay? Inhale ka lang. Ayan. And then bahala na yung drunkometer para i-measure niya yung blood alcohol concentration mo. Okay po? Okay, infrared spectroscopy. The principle of infrared spectroscopy is where molecules absorb the specific frequencies of light that are characteristic of the corresponding structure of the molecules. The energies are reliant on the shape of the molecular surfaces, the associated vibronic coupling, and the mass corresponding to the atoms. So, I'll repeat, molecules absorb specific frequencies of light that are characteristic of the corresponding structure of the molecules. In short, ang mga molecules, maliliit yan na bilog. Pag pinatamaan mo yan ng ilaw, which is by nature photon, by nature wavelength, pwede nilang pagalawin ang mga molecules. Kapag yung molecules na pagalaw nila, nakapag-release sila ng energy, patatamaan niya yung another molecule hanggang sa mag-bounce back. So, what did you notice? That's how the instrumentation works. And that's how, okay, advantage science is. Nakuha po ninyo? Kasi nga, kaya yung mga, halimbawa, okay, to put it into application, tapno mauawatan nyo, apay ngita maamuak daji may nga concentration iti dara iti tao. Kunwari di alcohol concentration iti tao kat kastoy lagpas ti reference value wenno sa nakat ada di reference value. Tagamin aji 31 iti silaw dagiti mismo molecule iti arak nga di dara. Tatano mano kasano kaado iti natirwan na di silaw iso ti agreflect ijay numerical display nga kuna tayo. Di numerical display wenno sanday digital display nga ibagbaga iso dadi ti numbers. Okay? Nakadepende di jay numbers. So, no adatag aji nga numbers ket na convertan iti electrical energy. Okay? Iso nga apay ta makaparparang iti number nga adati decimal na depende gamin dajay iti molecule. So in short, panunutin nyo na lang no kasano kadto yung molecule kat agreflect ijay electrical display or numerical display. So halimbawa kat napuskul laon na di daram tapos mabalin nga i-convert iti machine ti 300 kasay. Kat no iti reference standard na daji mismong machine kat 300 edi you are in the reference value. So congratulations. Okay? You are proved. Okay? You are not being accused but you are proved. Okay? Na and positive of alcohol concentration kasjay agtalbo-talbog lang. Okay? So, infrared spectroscopy kat agtalbog. Nya, yung bounce back dagi molecules. Dato yung spectroscopic techniques, may salang gamin. Linear laang iti pagdalanan ti silaw. Oh, ito po yon. Light source, di silaw, pupunta po yan sa light source, diffraction grating, it means the diffraction grating, ibig sabihin separator po yan, no? Okay? Tapos sumrag ti entrance slit, tapos mapanti exit slit, and then apan di sample. Tata, numanuman ti molecules nga danto sample, okay, banggaan da di silaw, tata, kada bangga iti silaw ijay molecule agtalbog, ag bounce back, mapan ijay exit slit, tapos iso iti i-absorb iti photomultiplier tube. So noon naman iti pinaka di ba itong rainbow colors na to, Roy G. Bibb, kung ano ang pinaka spectrum na nakuha ng photomultiplier tube, yun yung i-release niyang ilaw. So halimbawa pagka green, ibig sabihin the green coloration is directly proportional to the concentration of the molecules in the sample. Okay, that's why it states there, it is a method to measure how much a chemical substance absorb light. Okay, by measuring the intensity of light. So, yung intensity nakadepende sa concentration. Ganun na lang. Anyway, I'll be demonstrating that para ma-imagine nyo yung sinasabi ko. But, this is theoretical. It is for you to review and for the future happy day, happy tayo palagi. Okay, so please familiarize it with your heart. Okay, review it with confidence and joy. Okay, joyful heart as well. So ito naman chromatography. Chromatography is asking the question, can I separate, okay, a specific mixture from a solution? Yes. Can I separate, okay, the colors from a black ink? Yes. That's what chromatography do. As you can see, no? Etong screen natin, merong A, B, C, D. Gusto kong i-prove na sa black ink, andyan po yung Roy G. Biv colors. How? Chromatography. So, ilagay ko lang yung chromatography doon sa, or chromatographic paper, or filter paper, ilalagay ko siya doon sa glass jar na may tubig, and then I'm gonna put a label and ensure that the label would not reach the water because the line in a filter paper is served as the basis or the legend. Ang tawag dyan um, yung point, no, of reference. And then, what happens kasi in chromatography class, yung movement ng molecules na mataas ang kapit sa tubig. Meron kasing mga molecules na nahahatak based doon sa kanilang affinity, okay, doon sa water. Kaya minsan, pagka yung water umaangat, tapos may mga nasasamang mga kulay. Did you get my point? Na-imagine nyo ba? Pagkatabsaw mo yung black ink, yung tubig, sa sobrang gaan niya, okay, at tumaas ang tubig, doon sa black ink na yan, may mga lesser molecules dyan or lesser colors na kapag sumama sa tubig, aangat. That's why it forms the blue, green, red color. So, sir, black kanina tapos may na-produce na blue, green, red color? Yes. Because that's what chromatography does or do. Ngumato di danom, adda maisurot nga nalaglagan nga molecule, dagiti nalalagan talaga kat i-measure tayo iti distances da. Okay? So, ngayon, nakakreate ka ng blue, green, red. Yung distance nito, red, mula doon sa point of reference natin, i-measure mo. Yung distance ni green mula dun sa point of reference which is the black, i-measure mo at ganoon din si blue. So in that way we can determine, okay, what specific molecule is being detected. That is the paper chromatography on your screen. Now, in the modern times, meron na tayong machine. Ang tawag ay HPLC. Okay? Tapos, that's high performance liquid chromatography. Tapos, meron tayo dyan yung mga gas chromatography. These are the gold standards, no? Or these are the chromatographic instruments na ginagamit po ngayon doon sa pag-measure ng mga drugs. Okay? That's why, pwede bang malaman natin yung isang tao? Pwede ko bang malaman kung siya ba ay drug user? Pwede ko bang malaman yung concentration ng drugs doon sa kanyang dugo? Yes. Bring the sample to chromatography equipment. Gas chromatography man yan or HPLC man yan. Okay, ganyan ang principle na gagawin. Okay, ito po yung sinasabi ko, gas chromatography. It separates the mixtures of compound that are volatile or can be made volatile. Ito po yung parts ng gas chromatography. So, makikita nyo dun yung sample. Okay, pwedeng dugo yan. Let's pretend dugo. I-inject mo lang. Okay? Tapos, yung dugo, sasama siya dun sa carrier gas. Okay? And then, pag nag-collide na yung gas at saka yung sample, dadaan sila sa column. Okay? Tapos oven yan. Okay? So doon, sa column, which is the coiled, okay, host or tube there, yan. Parang dyan sila mag-split. Tapos, pag na-reach niya na yung dulo, lahat ng waste mababasura, tapos kung ano lang yung natanggap or specific na yun ng mga volatile substances, yun yung pupunta sa detector. Now, yung detector, nakakonekta yan dun sa computer. So, i-convert ngayon ni computer yung light energy from the detector into electrical energy. And as you can see, ang dapat na lumabas sa computer parang graph. Okay? Parang mga wavelength or bundok-bundok. Anyway, each wavelength represents the specific composition of chemical present in the sample. So, halimbawa, itong wavelength na to, potassium. Yung isa, sodium. Yung isa, carbon. So, kung ano ang pinakamataas, then, that means yun ang, kaya nalalaman natin, no, yung specific na concentration noong mismong nasa sample. Kasi itong chromatography, katumbas ng mga wavelength na yan, ay composition or compound. O, di ba sa chemistry natin, yung compound, binubuo ng two elements. So, bawat wavelength nito, elements. Na-split na yung compound. Okay? So, yun. Showing you lang yung kanyang illustration. Okay, so for experiment 3, malapit na tayong matapos, no? I would like you to be familiarized with the protective clothing. Of course, we have the disposable gloves, which will be provided by the CSR, and your own lab gown should be provided. Goggles, optional. Okay? Basta makover lang yung upper extremities nyo, then that would be good. Okay? The presence of lab gown. And of course, gloves and mask during the performance, always. Ito, safety and first aid. Gusto ko lang pong sabihin, sharp container sa UV, glass bottle, o kaya kahit anong type ng bottle dyan na mayroong malalim, okay, na length at saka width, no? Basta lahat ng nakakatusok dun nyo itatapon. Syringe, lancet, ganyan. And then for the eye washing, usually ginagawa ito pag halimbawa may splash ng chemicals na hindi natin inasahan, aksidente. Okay, ang una pong gagawin, tandaan nyo, hugasan nyo 15 minutes doon mismo sa gripo. Okay, wag po ninyong kukut-kutin yung mga mata ninyo. Basta pag nakaramdam kayo, uy, parang may nag-splash sa mata ko na something, you don't know, that's chemical, hugasan po kaagad, okay? Yan, 15 minutes in a continuous flow of water. Ganyan po siya. And of course, inform me. Kaya sana wag pong mangyari. Kaya nga, ingatan po natin ang bawat isa. Ingatan po ninyo ang mga sarili po ninyo. Wag pong maglalaro sa lab. Okay po? Para maiwasan yung ganito. Next, we have also the gloves for theoretical purposes. Paki-review po yung mga bagay na to. We have their biosafety cabinet, and then the goggles, tapos fume hood. Okay, so I would like also to emphasize the electrical equipment na as much as possible po, sana nakaalis yung mga saksakan pagka iniiwanan natin ang laboratory, and then panatilihin po natin ang maghugas ng kamay before and after the experiment. Okay? Kung walang sabon, edi magdala ng alcohol palagi. Okay, so what we should do kapag mayroong mga accidents or spills of specimen, magsuot ng gloves. Tapos, kuha ka ng tissue, lagyan mo ng dilute bleach that is 1:10 in ratio, tapos linisan mo ang dugo. Pagkatapos, i-disinfect ang area. And then, keep the bleach in contact with the contaminated area for at least 20 minutes. And then, you report all the accidents to the supervisor. Okay, so pinagawa ko po ito. This is experiment 3 as far as I know. Biological hazard. Okay. I do hope that you are all familiar with the symbols of the hazards. Starting from the biological hazard, okay, blood and other body fluids are potentially biohazardous because they may contain highly infectious and potential lethal organisms. So, pag sinabi po nating biological hazard, tandaan po natin part ng tao yan. Okay po, biological portion of the human. Yung semen, yung dugo, yung saliva, those are the three, okay, common na talagang risk po tayo. Diba? Kaya nga dapat may mask para kapag ka magchichismisan kayo, hindi kayo nagtatalsikan ng laway. Okay? Next, chemical hazards. Siyempre, yung bungo, toxic. Yung apoy, siyempre, flammable. Okay? What about that? Parang si The Beyonder. No? What about that? Okay, assignment. Next, electrical hazard and mechanical hazards. We have also fire hazard